Michael Maley, with me, an all-star panel, but I'm going to introduce them as we go along. To Brian Foley joining me, board-certified criminal defense attorney and former chief prosecutor, Harris County, Texas. Never a lack of business there, and author of What Prosecutors Don't Tell You. Brian Foley, how many cases did you prosecute and or defend where the dead woman says, if I turn up dead, he did it? Because I have had many. And sure enough, by the time I got a hold of them, they were homicide cases, Brian Foley.
Yeah, in domestic violence situations, we often have these warning signs. We have victims that will reach out to friends or family members and say, hey, if something happens to me, it wasn't me. I'm not going to commit suicide. And so apparently that did happen in this case, but we've got some facts, from the police investigation that look like it is a suicide. So if I'm JP's lawyer, I'd be singing from the rooftops what the police have reported.
Well, yeah, but right now I'm curious about what else the family has to say in sworn statements. And a legal word, the so-called preacher has not been officially charged. He has not been named a POI, person of interest, or a suspect. But I want to move forward with what Michael Maley, investigative reporter joining us out of South Carolina, is saying. He's talking about problems Mica had just before her death. Listen to our friends at Crime Online.
4 months after filing for divorce, Mica Miller pulls back the divorce papers, only to file new divorce papers weeks later. After filing for divorce a second time, Mica Miller feels like she's being stalked. Her tires are slashed twice in a week's time. Police discover a tire deflator has been used on the tires. Taking her car to the dealer for service, a mechanic finds a tracking device placed in Mica Miller's car. Flat tires, tracking device. Mica Miller tells police she's afraid for her life. She knows who the suspect is, but police tell her there's nothing they can do. Police file reports, but no charges are filed.
Okay, hold on. A tracking device on her car, her tires slashed. She calls police to report it. They show up at a gas station where she is to get the tracking device off her car. At that time, the alleged stalker drives by very slowly in his Honda. She says, if you find me dead, he did it. The preacher that's not a suspect, her husband. I mean, to Scott Johnson joining me, forensic psychologist, author of When I Love You Turns Violent. Scott Johnson, other than this initial ruling that Mica committed suicide with a bullet to her head, which of course, as we all know, is highly unlikely statistically that a female of her age would shoot themselves in the face. That said, Scott Johnson, textbook stalking. Textbook.
Very textbook. And, she's describing incidents which sound crazy, and yet there's evidence to back it up. And so when people get controlling and possessive, in particular with narcissism and this person's position with the church and in the community, she's a piece of property that just will not be let go.
Michael Maley, this is going to be hard for you because you have so much information to give us. But Michael, yes, no, did the preacher, the pastor, did he have a girlfriend? I want to establish that.
Yeah, Nancy, that's right. So there's several reports out there that say not only did he have a girlfriend, but that girlfriend allegedly may have been his alibi on the day that they discovered Micah's body.
Hold on. My head's blowing off right now. Let me just try to reattach that. Here at the top of my page, what is his alibi? Where was he? Okay, I did not see that coming, but thank you. I'm going to split your answer. I'm going to bifurcate it and go back to Scott Johnson. Boy, do we need a shrink. Hold on. So, all this business you were saying about stalkers are controlling and possessive and they won't let the woman go. H-E-double-L. If he had a girlfriend, why did he care if she got a divorce? Explain that to me.